to join Jimmie Johnson and Carl Edwards in the championship 4. That will be answered tomorrow. Possibilities that it could be the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Mike?
And certainly Matt would love to see that happen. Would love to add another championship to his resume. It's been a long time since he's been able to celebrate at the head table at the awards banquet. 2003 was when he won his championship. Would love to finally get back there once again. He's had a pretty good chase. He's led over 400 laps in this chase, but does not have a victory yet. They are optimistic it could change very soon. Hopefully for them, they think maybe tomorrow. Jason Ratcliffe told me last week, he said while they felt like they had a good car in Texas, they were really looking forward to Phoenix. Now the car has had decent speed, not breakout speed necessarily, but if you look at the 10-lap averages, he's among the top 10 cars right now. So the fall-off isn't tremendous for this team. They still are looking for just a little bit more. They've made some small changes, nothing dramatic throughout the course of this practice, but just trying to fine-tune this race car for Sunday, Marty.
Meanwhile, Kurt Busch looking for a little bit more. Mike, here's what he had to say on the radio after this last run.
Starts off right in, loose off. It's okay for a little bit. But the loose off is very late on exit, all related to that sway bar change. The car is not turning at all.
And that's not what you want here at Phoenix. They turned 45 laps in this practice session. They did find a little more speed towards the end of it. They are 10th fastest right now, but we've talked about how this race team needs to find some more speed. They find themselves in a must-win situation tomorrow. Obviously, they've got to get this car a little bit better if they want to pull that off.
Yeah, well, I think one of the big issues is the temperatures. It's hot today. It's 85 degrees. It was 75 when they ran here in the spring. And, of course, last fall it was raining and wet and cold. And so, you know, these conditions are really, really tough for these teams. It's going to be hard to get a car to turn and make rear grip.
But I'm a big fan. I think races are better when the premium on handling exists, because we talk about the difficulty to pass in these track position races and not a lot of tire fall off. Well, you don't need a lot of tire fall off if handling just becomes an issue, because you can just be better than the car in front of you, Jeff. You know, like a few hundredths of a second in lap time probably isn't enough for me to pull down underneath you and pass you. But if you're struggling with the handling a full tenth of a second, that's enough for me to take the non-preferred groove, set you up, and make a pass.
We see Ryan Newman on the track, and it was 2 years ago where Ryan Newman showed exactly how much he wanted to make it into the championship 4. We flash back to that race, and the 42 of Kyle Larson felt the brunt of this hit. He used up Kyle Larson. He had to get by him to get enough points to be able to advance into the championship 4, and he did what he had to do.
Yeah, and that move put him in position. He was a few laps away from winning the championship. I mean, he was leading that race at Homestead with not many laps left. So, you know, he didn't do what he had to do. It seemed by me there's more people in that same situation that he was in that year than there's ever been. I mean, we're look, 22, 1 point to the good, 18, 1 point to the good, the 20, 1 point needed, 11, 2 points needed. I mean, that's incredibly tight right now.
Well, when you points race against one car, it's easy.
There you go.
It's easy to understand what their strategy is, to follow their strategy. But that mess on the left side of your screen of the points right there, the 22 can't, in my opinion, points race. He has too many guys he's going against. The 22 is going to win the race, or try to win the race.
Right.
And if he can't win the race, finish second. And I know that sounds simple, but it's just very different. You and I have both done it. When you points race against one car, it's kind of mano a mano. I follow you, you follow me, whatever to beat you. But man, where's he got a point? I mean, what's he got to do? Try to beat the 18 and the 20. Oh, but the 4 is leading. There are so many circumstances that make it complicated.
Yeah, paint this hypothetical. Let's say the 11's not running very well tomorrow, and with 60 to go, he pits. And so what do the other 3 do? Right? Like you can make a move to counter what the 11 does and put you in worse position with, say, the 22 and the 18.
Right.
So it's going to be a very difficult call for the crew chiefs. But it reminds me of what it's going to be next week. We have 4 cars next week separated by 0 points. We have 4 cars this week separated by 2 points.
Right.
It's very, very similar.
How about next week? Today, this afternoon, in a few hours, the Xfinity Series rolls off, and we have the same great points battle. No one is in. No one has a win. All the spots are up.
4 spots available for the Xfinity Series drivers. Coming up next on NBCSN, it's Xfinity Series qualifying with Dave Burns, Dale Jarrett, and Steve Letarts. Again, that comes up next to figure out the lineup for tonight's race. Take a look at the Chase Grid drivers and where they ended up in this practice. Again, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, they're locked into the championship 4. But what will the other 6 drivers do for the remaining 2 spots? Again, Xfinity Series qualifying coming up right now.